Hey, fabulous friends! Buckle up and get set for a ride taking my broken and turning it into beautiful. We discuss all of that right here on Tragic to Magic with your host, Marni. Our vibe: never let anyone dull your sparkle. Never give up. So, if you're ready for raw, real stories of strength and transformation, you're in the right place. Welcome to our podcast, where we always keep it sparkling.
Hey, fabulous friends. How's everybody doing? This is Marni, and this is my very first Tragic to Magic with Marni. My life, which I'm going to get into a little bit, has been nothing short of tragic, capitalized, to magic, capitalized. So these are going to be 15-minute little mini segments. I'm flying solo with this. Usually I have my dazzling, delightful daughter, Taylor, with me, but there's a lot that happened in the 30 years before she got here. That being said, welcome. And I also have mini episodes where, thank you to the universe for this, Newsweek, as in Newsweek, the powerhouse Newsweek. One day in 2000, was it 22? Yes, it was, I think the summer or fall of 22. That's what it was. And they had a question in their one of their segments is, what should I do? Family and parenting, relationships, friendships, and all of these different scenarios. Because I have gone through hell, then rock bottom, and then rock bottom's basement, and then their basement, and fell apart up until I was almost present day years old. No, seriously, until I was 52, I had no idea the unresolved trauma that lived and infested my body for all these years. So I am a survivor. I am a powerhouse of peace and positivity. I am the poster child for resilience. And with all of that experience, with everything I have gone through, Newsweek gave me one, what should I do? And I answered it. And then they printed it. And I am like, oh my God, Newsweek took my advice on what should I do? Because all of the situations are different, but the circumstances of your emotions are all the same. We all have that mother-in-law, father-in-law, husband, wife, sister, best friend, ex-best friend, nosy people we grew up with, we don't like. It goes on and on. So one article became 10 articles, which became 20 articles. Okay, I know my jaw's dropping too as I'm saying it. Imposter syndrome, like alert going on in my head right now, which became 30 articles, 40, 50, 60. So I have 60 Marni basically giving her advice for any situation that has to do with people, basically. And they have taken my advice 60 times. You can go to Newsweek and type in Marni Goldman, and all of my inputs and experienced opinion writing articles will be there. So my credentials are just friggin' badass. And once people get past the pink and the sparkles, there's such a fucking warrior within me that I don't think anybody could live a day in my shoes from birth to pretty much 52 years old. And I know my story is so powerful that I went into the National Institute of Health in Bethesda. Yep, Dr. Fauci, National Institute of Health, NIH. And I went into the bookstore that's downstairs where all the doctors and researchers and scientists go to get their coffee in the morning. And I said, is the manager here? Just holding my book. And he was not there for the night. And I left my book and I said, I'm going to be here for a few days. Just let him see it. And I would love to put my book in your bookshop. Next day, got a phone call, went in. They had my book in the window next to the Dr. Fauci bobblehead. Yes, my book is being sold inside the bookstore / coffee shop at NIH, National Institute of Health. So I'm a miracle. I should not be alive. I talk about in my mini episodes, other than my Newsweek articles, I'm going to break down and why I answered the way I do. I am going to start my J Diaries. I have talked with Taylor on my previous episode we did together, and we talk about it like it's everyday conversation. Like, oh, I have a dentist appointment. I'm going to pick up my dry cleaning. Wait, you had an affair and got pregnant and you were both married, and on and on and on. My life story is a soap opera. It is Days of Our Lives. It is General Hospital. It is Dynasty. It is, I know people are like, Dynasty. If you listen to this and you're of my age, you get it. So I was born into just this world of trauma, but as traumatic as my life was, that's how friggin' dramatic. You cannot make up what happened to me in my life. And I write about things, and you could read the reviews on Amazon. I mean, it speaks for itself. My vanity is another thing I cover a lot because it has made me completely insane. Vanity has caused my insanity more than I think every cell in my body starts with my vanity. And for my entire existence, including right now years old, I have done nothing but look at my flaws, never accepted myself the way I looked. Instead of being like, wow, look how great you look. I'm like, oh my God, does my ass look big? Or does my ass, or does this make me look fat? All I say is, does this make me look fat? Does this make me look fat? Because a few times in my life, twice I was 200 pounds. Each time I delivered my children, I gained 80 pounds with each pregnancy, which you would think I learned my lesson the first time, but I did not realize that one kind of, I have no kind of moderation. So food was just, whoa. I mean, I always watched what I ate since I was 20 years old. And that's when it started. I got really heavy between 16 and 19. And I lived with this guy at 19. I had to sleep on the floor, and he beat the fucking shit out of me. And he actually put a pig in the refrigerator. I think I talked about this on way episodes back. And you would open it and it would oink. That's how friggin' mean it was. But I was called fat, stupid whore. I mean, like part of my Marni Michelson. Ugh, I hated being Marni Michelson. She died. Gross. I love who I am now, but what I endured as Marni Michelson as a child, it just, whoosh, it's a miracle she survived. And sometimes when I read things and I'm healing and doing different therapies and healing my inner child, I think of, wow, with that 19-year-old girl, if I could just hug her right now and let her know, just be yourself, everything's going to be okay. And I just lived this life of pleasing people because I needed survival. This wasn't just being a people pleaser, just saying, okay, I'll go to your party, or okay, I'll sell Tupperware with you, or okay, I'll be the mom, room mom. I had to people please because I needed a home. I needed to people please because I was severely paranoid throughout my marriage from my unhealed trauma that my husband would leave me if I did anything wrong, if I didn't go somewhere. So I did everything to make him happy, but what was I doing to myself? Making myself unhappy. So then all of a sudden I'm going back years when I was not healed, and gosh, I look at who we were and with communication, and I'm so glad I am talking about this for anybody listening, because it's not about the love you have with someone. It's the lack of ability to communicate and comprehend. I had no idea that, the arguments and how I would people please and do everything for Jay to stay with me, never being able to just accept that he loves me. But if he said, let's go somewhere, I did it. If he said, will you make this for me, even if it was 11 o'clock, which he would never do. But if he was like, I'm in the mood for fried rice, I'd be like chopping it. I was so in love, but at the same time, so petrified he was going to leave me. Everyone else leaves me. My my biological father left me at 4 months. My other father left me. The other stepfathers left. My mother left me. Nobody in my family ever let me live with them when I had no shelter at 17. So I am used to people leaving me. There is no norm for me to have that kind of stability. So I was in this state of mind for years without being able to say to Jay, you know what, I'm not in the mood to go to that restaurant tonight. I'm really tired. Because what happened inadvertently was I was mad at myself now. So now I became a bitch. And Jay would say, what do you want to watch tonight? I'm like, leave me alone. He's like, what? I'm like, just stop. And then he would be like, what's wrong with you? Nothing. What's wrong with you? And an argument would ensue and start without me saying to him, oh, God, baby, I'm so sorry. I'm mad at myself because I really didn't want to go out tonight. And I did. I'm just so afraid you're going to leave me. I don't know how to accept love. And Jay had no idea that any of this was not directed towards him. He took everything personal. And until my kids one day said, wait, you're not mad at me? I said, no, I'm just upset because I said, put your clothes in the laundry. I'm not yelling at you. I'm yelling at the situation. And that's where that first little Belle and Oprah aha moment started, when I realized, okay, you got to communicate everything. Communication is the key. It's okay if you're angry. It's okay if you are mad as fuck. It's okay if you're sad, if you're crying, if you're happy. There are no right and wrong with emotions. But just do not allow anybody to tell you you are not allowed to feel that way. Remove yourself and allow yourself to feel your feelings, cry it out, empty yourself. It's so healthy. I know that when we were going through our healing process, my daughter, like Taylor, like I don't describe her enough, she would look at me if I wasn't smiling or being funny, Marni, and she would go, what's wrong with you? And I would snap back at her because I was probably in a freeze moment, a trauma response moment, a trance moment, reading something intently, in the middle of God knows what. And when I get interrupted, I snap. So not only am I now being interrupted, but I'm being judged for my emotion. And don't do that. I know everybody, sometimes your intentions are so pure, wanting to fix people. Here, this works for me. Let me do this for you. But we're not here to fix because you did not walk in their shoes. You have not been in their brain. So what works for you does not work for the other person. The best you could do is say, I don't know what you're going through, but I'm here for you. I mean, it's as simple as that. My husband tried to fix everything. I mean, the intentions were so pure, but I didn't know what the fuck was wrong with me. I don't know why I couldn't get out of bed at the time for months. I don't know why I would never leave my house. I don't know why. I mean, I didn't know why when I would be doing my makeup and getting ready, and if he was watching me, how I would just get away from me. And all of that through my healing years later, I realized all of these remind me of triggers. So when you are going through the cluster of the worst times ever, you don't realize it now, but trust me, at almost Studio 54 years old, trust me, you don't know it now, but you are living this purpose at this moment and you will figure it out. Even if it's the worst thing that you can imagine happening, you will find something good in this situation and take it and go on with your life. So many people shut down when, we want to control everything. We have a plan. We structured. It's going to go this way, this way, this way. And all of a sudden, the universe comes in and says, ha, 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 we're going to do it this way. And now you're pissed, but it's out of your control. It's out of your control if you get a certain job. It's out of your control if somebody calls you. It's out of your control if you understand the difference between what is in your control. You could write the email, you can pitch yourself, but if somebody gets back to you, great. If they don't, great. And that is the key to happiness. Being okay if something happens and being okay if something does not happen. I know I was a little all over the place with this episode, going in and out of my words of wisdom, but I guess I could use this as a reintroduce myself, and you're going to get to know me even better through my antics with Taylor and the neurotic, psychotic, poster child mom that I am. We put the fun and dysfunction, but I like these mini episodes because I can talk about what I have overcome, what I do to heal, how I do not care what people think of me, how I am at peace, whether something happens or doesn't happen. Because you can't go through what I have, like I said before, almost Studio 54 years old and not realize I'm supposed to be where I'm supposed to be. And with every hardship, you learn something and something better happens, like the game Pac-Man. I talked about this before when Pac-Man's going for the pellets, boop, 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 and it hits the wall. It doesn't stop. You back up and you keep going. That's life. We're Pac-Man eating pellets. Boop, 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 boop. So each, I think 3 episodes a week, I'm going to do my Tragic to Magic with Marni. And if you guys have any what should I do questions, if Newsweek can take my opinion as an expert opinion writer, I think you guys can. Trust me. I also tell people when you read my book, I guarantee you, and I will bet anybody and wager, I will give you $1,000. I will sell it to you ASAP if you don't read my book and you are not filled with love and gratitude for your whole life. And I'm not sure why I enunciated gratitude like that. If Taylor were here, she'd be completely laughing. So that is my first episode of Tragic to Magic with Marni. And you fabulous human beings, thank you so much for listening. Thank you for supporting our podcast. I wish everybody so much love, so much peace. Sparkle, guys, like that shiniest friggin' star in the sky. Never let anybody burst your bubble. You are fabulous human beings, and I love you all. Have a great day, and until next time.
There you have it, another episode of Tragic to Magic coming to a close. But remember, the magic doesn't end here. Keep shining, keep pushing, and remember no one, and I mean no one, has the power to dull your sparkle. It's your light, your strength, your magic. Thank you for being part of the Tragic to Magic fam. You can listen on all podcast platforms. Don't forget to check out our website, peacelovemarni.com. Until next time, stay strong, stay sparkly. Much love and peace.